there is no organic male friendship in America.
Good. I agree with that.
It doesn't exist.
And we suck at it. Women are great at it. We have to be intentional.
I don't. I made a pact when I was 19 with 4 other men, and I have...
Love that.
We've never violated it.
What was the pact?
Get together every year somewhere in the world. And we have every single year since 1989 or something, 88. And we were just at my house on a hunting trip 2 weeks ago. So yes, that will not happen. You will not have friends as a married man with children by 55 unless you are a psychopath about it. In fact, nothing good will happen unless you're totally dedicated to it. You know, I'm not disciplined at all personally, but on a few things I'm disciplined because I care about them.
What are some of the valuable things that foursome has
totally changed my life? And in fact, I had a young male relative get married fairly recently, and the day of their dinner, of course, we went fishing, and I trout fishing, and I said, the last thing I said to him before he got married, I said, I've given you all kinds of advice. The last piece of advice I'm going to give you is maintain your male friendships, and not because you intend to, make a conscious verbal agreement to do that, because life gets in the way. And the number one thing that wives with small children are not into is the dad leaving for the weekend. They're just not into it. They're resentful.
I'm doing that.
She's going to resent you bad. And my wife resents
me.
me.
See, this is true. Like, pause. This is true of Proud Boys. Pause. This is true of Proud Boys meetups or Proud Boys trips where they go away for something and the wives are always pissed off. Don't tell your wife, by the way. Just say I have to go to a thing. It's none of her beeswax where you're going. But yeah, it takes some tension at home. Don't get divorced, but sometimes she's got to be mad at you. Go ahead.
And like, where are you going again? I was like, well, you know, with your college roommates, really? Yep, have to. And now my wife is like, this is the greatest thing that ever happened. You know, it's like a different time of life. But getting through the period when you have young kids at home, especially if I was always on the road for my job, like traveling everywhere. And so to add another weekend to that, only 52 in a year, was really hard, and was true for all the other guys. There are 5 of us. I'll just say this. I mean, I could write a book about this group of men. It makes me emotional. But all 5 are married to the same woman, and they love their wives. All 5. All 5 have at least 3 kids, and all of their kids respect their fathers, and all their kids are happy. I talked to one of the kids last night at 11 o'clock. She called me from Europe. One of my friend's children. I'm the godfather. We're all godfathers to each other's children. All 4 of my children have godfathers in this group. All their families are thriving. By the way, this is not even that relevant. All their businesses are thriving. They've all been successful.
We get it. Yeah, cool thing. Yeah. You know, it's funny how people criticize Proud Boys. Remember that dude who was like, everyone's welcome in New York, and then someone pushes him aside to throw a bomb? Walter Matheson or something? Whatever his name is. He's like a Jewish, nerdy, liberal Manhattanite who goes to MAGA rallies and says, why have you never been laid? How small's your penis? Like really fucking lame insults. And his thing with the Proud Boys is they're who have never been laid. And it's like, bro, they're not all married. Some of them are divorced, but they all have kids. You've never been laid? Oh, okay. I guess these children running around that I'm paying child support for are not mine. Skip ahead one there, Shawnee.
Okay.
This was weird. Johnny Ryan, the cartoonist, he was listening to this audiobook on Stanley Kubrick, and at the end of it, they talk this. Can you open Spotify?
No.
Why not?
I don't have Spotify.
Well, anyway, it's he's talking about his daughter, Olivia, and everyone says you must know her, right? She's in New York and she's red-pilled, and I don't know why I don't know her. It seems like a mistake. But no, I've never come across her path. But we know of each other's stuff. We travel in the same circles. It's weird how we haven't met, actually. But I guess she was estranged from Kubrick because of her politics. I think she's anti-Israel or something. But at the end of this, in track 38, well, maybe I can find it here on my phone, of this book, they talk about her becoming right wing, and it's sort of like they're talking about someone becoming a heroin addict or getting into kiddie porn. And I've seen it a few times, like with John Milius. There's a documentary about John Milius, Steven Spielberg, and George Lucas. They all went to film school together. And I think they're all pretty consistent. They're all very talented filmmakers. I don't agree with Spielberg and Lucas's politics. Actually, I don't know Lucas's politics, but Spielberg gives me pedo vibes. But that's another time. But they're all very talented. And they talk about John in this documentary. He's had a stroke. I don't think he can really articulate himself very well now. But they talk about him, and they talk about when he went crazy. And I think they use the movie Red as an example. Red Scare, sorry. Is that what it's called? I'm confusing it with the podcast. I think it's just called Red. But look him up on IMDb. The guy was incredibly consistent his entire film career, and that's not including the films he worked on.
Dawn, was it?
Like, I think he wrote the speech that dead like a dead doll's eyes. I think he wrote that for Jaws. So he tuned up and improved a ton of other movies, but he was always this sort of camo vest guy. I want to see the order of Red. Oh, Apocalypse Now, is that all?
Red Dawn.
No, that's 2012.
But
Genius.
that's a remake.
Yeah. But keep going way down, way down, way down. Miami Vice. See all. So, okay, Red Dawn was... So, Conan the Barbarian was 82. Then he went crazy in 84. Is that what you're saying? So they accept, like, Apocalypse Now as a masterpiece and Conan. And then in 2 years, he went nuts. And then everything sucked after. And his brain is rotten. Now, go up. So, Conan the movie, I guess, is garbage. Rough Riders, that was an awesome movie. Rome, masterpiece. Between the Lines, this is way down the line here. And then he's doing Red Dawn in 2012. So what the are you talking about? And they do the exact same thing with Kubrick's daughter. They just go, yeah, then she became nuts. And it's like, this is a subjective concept, you arrogant douchebags, Robert P. Kolker and Nathan Abrams. You say, and then she got into left-wing politics.
Kubrick was born on the 26th of...
Let me go through these chapters. And then it's 38, I believe. 38. Is that right? 3851. Want to listen to this audiobook? Yes. Oh, request plan sent to... That's weird. I heard it on my computer, okay. Poo-poo. I'm live, guys. I can't be waiting for managers to allow me permission. Oh, well, that didn't work. Lots of failures on today's God Wheel. But they go, she descended into a pattern of anti-Semitism, which she probably just didn't support Israel or something. And then even worse, sunk deeper. I wish we could find this, dude. Sunk deeper into the world of neo-fascist organizations such as the Proud Boys, which she supported. And I don't know, the tone of it just makes you want to go, what a bunch of assholes. Oh, it's asking me for money now on my iPad. Come on, just give me a little tease. All right, that's another failure. Sorry, folks. I messed up. We all mess up. All right, that was a fun little Proud Boys sojourn. I go this way, I go this way, I go that way, I go that way. We already did Proud Boys, so I want to get away from Proud Boys as much as possible. Maybe there. I didn't want to do them again. Boop bop boop a dop. Boop a dop boop a dop boop a doop a doo. Immigration. Do we have any in the modern notes? Modern notes. No religion. Modern loads.
We've got another competence crisis one with foreign drivers.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That was the front page of the Post, I believe. Yeah, 16F. I think we talked about this actually with Anthony on Wednesday.
There's so many of these that it's
Is
hard
this
to-
the keep right guy? Yeah. No, you're right. It's not the same one.
Yeah.
That's 2 this week. So this is a perfect. I'm glad we got to this. This is a perfect example of the kind of garbage we're getting on our roads from the turd world. Clanker balls are intuitive. You don't need a sign. You don't need to speak English to understand them. You see a bridge, you see a bunch of signs. You could be totally illiterate, and you're like, I wonder if I'm too tall for this bridge. Then there's some balls on chains that will not damage your vehicle that are also a very, very similar height than the bridge. What are the odds that the two are linked? Nope. Check it out.
Just about everyone has seen it happen or has come close to seeing it happen at the Chapel Street Bridge in Newark.
I've seen the aftermath of them getting hit.
Yeah.
You have pictures of it? I think I do have a picture.
Yeah, trucks clearly warned the bridge is only 12 feet tall. Give it a go anyway and get stuck. It has happened 60 times here since 2005. I shot this video here in 2015, and the most recent strike came earlier this month, just days before these new clankers went up.
There's this huge white box truck completely stuck underneath the bridge. Passed by about an hour later. It looked like they had ripped him out.
Every bridge strike could mean a major disruption on the busy rails that run through town, so the clankers are up on the north side of the bridge, and the south side will go up soon. And it will also get the same treatment nearby Cascio Mill Road got in 2022 when they got clankers, sensors, lights, and lots of warning signs. DelDOT says their clanker plan here at Delaware's most frequently hit bridge
Stop now or kaboom.
Well. Same deal at the state's other clanker sites in Milford and near Delaware Park. Bridge strikes at Cascio Mill Road, which is a much lower bridge, by the way, they've gone way, way down since the clanker balls were introduced a couple years ago. But DelDOT says they have still seen some people driving trucks. They come up, they hit the balls, they slow down to see what happened.
Those balls.
They realize what happened, and they still just keep on driving anyway.
They'll hit the clankers, they stop, and then have still proceeded and hit the bridge.
One popular theory is that some of the strikes are by University of Delaware students moving in or out and, not used to driving big rental box trucks. And by the way, the clankers have been so successful here that other states have started asking DelDOT about their very creative
competence
solutions.
crisis.
Ohio, California, for example, we've had municipalities and other agencies reach out to us and inquire about the system because they were having the same issue.
Another set of clankers is set to go up at a low rail bridge in Newport, Delaware as well, and this set on Chapel Street should be done really, really soon. In Newark, Delaware, Tim Furlong, NBC 10 News.
We've gone backwards, folks. I wish they would have shown some of the involved in this, but no, we don't want to offend anyone, so we just say it's probably guys renting trucks. No.
Students.
Any normal human being who rents a truck, and we've all rented U-Hauls, you are scared. You know the height. You got that when you signed the forms, and you see that it matches up. You're still like, fucking shit. But if you hit clanker balls, you'd actually be happy because I know I'm definitely too big for this. They're not. Speaking of Pajeets, remember I told you about that bet where they said someone gets to put a finger in your ass?
Yeah.
Well, I lost the bet.
Oh.
So it's happening, I think, on Saturday. And then I go, what is she like? I hope she's small. And they go, it's a dude. I go, we're having a dude put his finger in my ass because I lost this bet? And they go, yep. And it gets worse. I go, okay, what's worse? They go, he makes pottery. And I'm like, okay, that's actually better because his finger might be all muddy and go in easier. And they go, and he's a Pajeet. I know this sounds racist, but that really bummed me out. So on Saturday, some potter is sticking his finger up my ass. Did you hear about this?
No.
It's a fucking bummer, bro. It's 2-1. I think there's a video of him, and I can't get out of it. I shook on it, and it's going down. So we should film it, Sean. Let's get Byron down there.
Okay.
and film it. This guy's putting his finger in my ass on Saturday. So I said I'll kiss a guy on the cheek, and if I lose, I'll kiss a guy on the cheek. That was it. And then I didn't specify who it would be and what it was. Remember that?
Yeah.
2-2? And then I made the same bet and ended up with the exact same problem. You think I would have learned from the cheek kissing incident?
Yeah, that guy.
That was the guy. Remember that?
Yeah, Raja.
So I'm kind of done with gambling, to be honest. Who's your friend?
Did you get to choose which side?
No, well, naturally, every time you kiss a guy on the cheek, it's the left cheek.
Oh, right.
You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
That's how we do. All right, so those are immigrants. Those are the people that are driving 40-ton killing machines down our streets. Ooh. My son finds out any second now if he's on the team, baseball team, but it's a grade up. And the children of the proper grade, he was hoping he'd be called up a grade. That's kind of a status symbol. But that grade, I'm not going to tell you what grade my son's in, but they're doing pretty good. I can tell you the grade. He's in grade 7, 7th grade, and it's 8th grade baseball. Ooh. So we'll see. Very exciting times. I even tried some nepotism. It didn't work. It's hard to do nepotism in baseball because they have to actually go out and hit. Trump. Why aren't I finding this? Did you put it in the top?
I got it, yeah. The top
Okay.
one we already did. I'll delete that.
Trump posts and calls out Biden's FBI, asking intelligence agencies to destroy 2020 election, stolen election evidence. Trump posts, let me see this, calls out Biden's FBI. Oh, so Biden's FBI was asking intel agencies to destroy stolen election evidence. That's a video? Let's hit it.
2020 FBI intel memo warning that China might have been sending fake driver's licenses in to create fake mail-in ballots to help Joe Biden win. Last night I got the text of the memo. I put it up for everybody to see. You can read it at justthenews.com. There's a busting headline in here. When the FBI called this back, so they have this intel. It's corroborated by licenses that are intercepted by Customs and Border in Border Protection in Chicago. But they call it back anyways and decide we're just not going to investigate this because this would look good for Trump, bad for Biden. They ask all intelligence agencies to destroy the intelligence report that the FBI actually sent them. As a Federal Records Act, you're not supposed to do that. But they wanted it destroyed. Why? Because they probably didn't want it to leak out before the election that China preferred Joe Biden over Donald Trump. 60 Minutes aired a piece with the head of the Homeland Security Cybersecurity Division saying there were no foreign intrusions in the 2020 election. It was a perfectly clean election, he said. I think it was Chris Krebs was his name. We now know that to have been a false proclamation. First, we know a year later in 21, a bunch of Iranians were indicted in Manhattan on charges that they interfered in the election and hacked into a state database to obtain voter IDs and use them in a mal-influence operation against the American election.
We did subpoena Mike Frontera, Dominion's lawyer, but they found a way to not let us have our witnesses. What Jenna did, though, that since at least June, those BIOS passwords, 670 of them, from 63 counties out of the 64 counties in Colorado, have been on the public website for the Secretary of State, which means they were out there for anybody to grab. Anyway. She should be locked up, and they should throw away the key and let me loose.
Yeah, we need a prisoner swap.
Yeah, for sure.
So you think that this election in Colorado was definitely compromised because of the leaked passwords?
Oh, always.
Yeah.
I mean, in Mesa County, They were finding fraudulent ballots. They were finding the same person was signing the ballot envelopes, and they brushed it off like it was nothing. As a matter
Pause for a sec. If you're doing a presentation and you're talking about Trump being ripped off, and one of your star witnesses is in an orange jumpsuit, shouldn't you explain the context?
Yeah, I would say so.
Like Julie Valentina tried to uncover this, and she was accused of tampering with evidence, and she was arrested. This was the Biden administration weaponizing their system against her. We managed to talk to her in jail. But now you just have a woman in jail. You're leaving yourself vulnerable to the other side mocking you here.
Yeah. This is quite a long video. Just
yeah.
So you know.
All right. We get it. We knew the election was stolen.
My uncle is working on some stuff with the voter rolls and stuff, and there's some real shady things going on.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have to bring in his information.
I remember back in this would be the first election, 2015, a criminal friend of mine was getting driver's licenses from China. They look good. Huh. They look perfect. They work in everything but actual cops. He said, I didn't get one. But he said, he showed me his, and it was like Joey Fernandez. And he was like, I would never give this to a cop, obviously. But everyone else, like even, at bars where they put it, the barcode works. But the problem with cops is they go, you're not coming up on the system. Biden's family took millions from China in election. That's the same thing, is it? Is it the same video? It's the same story.
Same story, it looks like, but not the same video.
Well, let's take a peek.
Okay.
We were sent here by God, Sean. This is not a whim. Oh, it's the same guy.
Shocked me. Yeah, when this story first broke, I thought that there must be some details about it that are more speculative than you can rely on. But the more I read the piece that you published and saw what Cash submitted to Chuck Grassley, there are several levels of this that are concerning almost beyond belief. So obviously the first family itself was taking millions of dollars from China. The Biden first family through Hunter Biden and China CEFC Energy, China CEFC Energy was taking $5 to $10 million in consulting fees from Chinese energy firms as Hunter Biden was flying on Air Force One to China with Vice President Biden in order to secure those deals. Biden's CIA director, Bill Burns, took millions of dollars from China when he was the head of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace for 7 years before becoming CIA director, taking CCP members and putting them on Carnegie's board, as well as forming a joint Carnegie-China center so that they could cooperate more closely. Tony Blinken, the Secretary of State, was the managing director of the Penn Biden Center, which took millions of dollars from China. So all the way up and down the entire foreign policy establishment of the Biden administration, from the White House to the CIA to the State Department, you had millions of dollars being juiced by the Chinese government the entire time. And then the more you think about this story, the more shocking it gets when you think about the massive biggest election censorship event in human history, which was DHS CISA's censorship of the 2020 election, specifically to stop election misinformation, which was all run out of a group that Chris Krebs formed called the Countering Foreign Influence Task Force, which you would think would have been the exact task force at DHS set up to stop something like this and set up to be responsive to something like this, when in fact it did the exact opposite. They told us there was no foreign interference. Now, how does the FBI know this, and the CIA know this, and the DHS task force, who is responsible for stopping the domestic side of this operation, not be informed? How is it possible that this intelligence was circulated at the FBI and CIA levels, but not at the DHS level?
All right, that's great. We get it. So why'd the Lord send us there? I think he says Trump is my guy. So God is still on the Trump train, which is interesting.
So if you enjoyed that clip,
then subscribe to Compound Censored using this promo code.